was Tom E. Curran. Tom, of course, covers the Patriots for NBC Sports Boston. Joins us now. Boy, that's timely to come up with that question. Hadn't thought about that one in a while, Tom.
No. Well, what question? I was talking to Fritzy.
Oh, the Brady or Belichick.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I mean, honestly, I was stunned to see it come back 65% Belichick, 35% Brady. Stunned. I mean, one guy's the architect, but the other one's the builder. He's hammering the nails out there.
You disagree with this? You would say Brady more valuable, more responsible than Belichick?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. From 2007 on, I really think it's been Brady, especially 2010 through 2019. It's really Brady has given them such a huge margin for error, and you saw it last year. And they start a season with such a complement of wide receiver and skill position players that they have to go and trade for a guy who hadn't done anything since 2013 to give them help, and he did so for 11 games in Josh Gordon. So he allows them. I mean, Aaron Rodgers would be in the fetal position crying if he was asked to do the same things that Brady is annually.
Okay.
And got yelled at the same way.
Okay, what is Brady asked to do that Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be able to handle?
Stiff upper lip it when I give you Cordero Patterson, and I know he actually had Ty Montgomery in his backfield for a period of time. We're the number 80, but when I'll give you Cordero Patterson as your running back, or I'll give you a season in which we lose Aaron Hernandez, and we're going to start with Kenbrell Tompkins, Aaron Dobson, and Josh Boyce at wide receiver, and unproven Julian Edelman as your slot, or we're just going to nickel and dime it on offense to a large extent. We're going to spend our money on defense. Or maybe, how about this? We're going to sit down our 98% of the plays cornerback in the Super Bowl and see how you can do on offense to keep us afloat. Maybe you can throw for 505. Oh, that's not enough. We lost. Too bad.
Yeah, I still go back. It's not like Belichick did that for a degree of difficulty for Brady here. I don't know what the real reason why, he sat down Malcolm Butler, but I don't know if we'll ever get that full story.
But I think it's a great point by me, Dan.
Of course it is, as always, Tom. Tom E. Curran, the Patriots insider, joining us. Julian Edelman out for 3 weeks. Big deal, little deal?
I think it's a little deal in the grand scheme, but it actually refers back to something we were just discussing. For Brady, you go into camp and you'd like to be hitting the ground running. And with the Patriots' complement of skill position players around him, they don't have a left tackle really right now. Might be Isaiah Wynn, and he could pan out, but he's never played because he was hurt last year. Rookie N'Keal Harry, and then you have guys like Dontrell Inman and Maurice Harris. There's no tight end since Gronk retired, and Ben Watson's here, but he'll miss the first 4 games. So it's instead of 700 level offense the Patriots are going to be enjoying, it's Brady on the rug with a bunch of little kids playing trucks and learning the alphabet. And starting there, going against a defense that is going to be pretty good. And I can see Brady in camp when it's hot and it's the 9th rep in a row where they're about to get their asses handed to them on a situational 3rd and 12. But Brady's like, what are we doing? Why do we do this every year? So that's my take on that. But grand scheme, no, it's not going to make a huge impact that Edelman isn't there, but I still do think they're going to be swimming upstream offensively for a big portion of the first half of the year.
What did you think of Edelman's documentary?
I liked it. And I wrote that book with him 2 years ago, which investigated. It was a memoir, so it was basically in his voice, so it kind of went through all the same things for 278 pages. I'm like, why do we need a documentary? I just wrote this thing. But the documentary I thought was very, very, very well done. I went into it saying, I'm not going to like this having just done the book, but I thought the creativity of it really, really made me shut up.
But did you need to hear an explanation as to why he used performance-enhancing drugs, what he used, what did it make him feel like? It's a documentary, and I thought we were owed at least that. If you're going to pull back the curtain, pull it back for a documentary, and he didn't. I thought it was creative how he got around it.
Yeah.
And even when he came on to talk about the documentary, we were given a heads up, don't ask him about, the steroid use. But I needed a little bit more there.
Yeah, it does leave you, and that's just the way, honestly, as someone who's covered this team throughout the Belichick regime, and regime is a good way of putting it, you come to accept that things are not going to be spoken about, and unfortunately, journalistically, you become conditioned to shrugging and moving on. So, yeah, I'm looking. I'm like, how's he going to do this? Oh, that's how he did it. And then I move on. So it doesn't probably grate on me as much as it ought to because I'm conditioned to get over it.
Yeah, I get that.
I'd like to know, where it happened. Did it happen in L.A.? Did it happen out here? Did it happen in Honduras? Was it strictly to help his recovery? I mean, I think that when Rodney Harrison had his situation in 2000 and I believe it was 2008, he explained that it was about recovery as he was coming back from an ACL. Was that what Julian did? I think that would benefit him so that people aren't saying, well, there's been a lot of suspicion about him throughout his career, which is something Chris Sims said last year. So more is less, but we don't always experience that here.
Do you believe that the Patriots were trying to move up to take Baker Mayfield?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I think that was a complete ruse. That was a dog and pony show.
Okay. Because I remember when that report came out, and then I caught wind of it, and then it felt like somebody was leaking something, and I didn't know whose camp it was coming from. And then I think Mina Kimes in her profile on Baker Mayfield in the mothership on ESPN brought it up, and I didn't know. And I think I even asked you about this after the fact. Was that true? And I think you said the same thing you're saying now, that no.
Yeah, and I've gotten more information on that since, in talking to people, and it was how it was described to me. It was a dog and pony show.
Okay.
There was no intention.
Tom jumping in the water in Costa Rica with his daughter. Is that the lead, in Boston, asking Patriots questions with Brady?
People flip out when you say anything like that. And I do too. Look, you'd rather have an involved father. I think you have 4 kids. I know that Seton and Paulie and McLovin all probably have procreated at some point. The things that if you had video of the dumb things I did with my kids, that I go, whoa, that was a close one, but I don't want to share it on social media. But he kind of blissfully goes forward and does it and takes the slings and arrows and moves on. I'm sure that Vivian Brady will at some day say, boy, I love doing things with my dad that seemed risky and crazy, and he forced me to do things. But if she had gone bouncing down the front of the rock face, I mean, that's what I said when I looked at it. Ooh, grabbing the arm. Geez, I wonder if she landed on him. Well, haven't seen any news reports, so I'm sure she's fine.
And will we ever have a run like this with coach and quarterback, that this is the 20th camp with these two?
I'm writing something right now about Brady's contract because, as Tom Pelissero noted yesterday, there's nothing on the horizon, but there are conversations which hadn't been before. It's not a Cold War necessarily, but it's not collegial either. But I think that even this, how can it be hard? This guy has given you tens of millions of dollars back over the course of his career in taking less. Yeah. He's made you hundreds of millions of dollars. And yet still, last year when it came up, they gave him a $5 million incentive-laden thing, of which he hit none. Guys are not going to swallow hard like Tom Brady has and say, okay, I'll sign it. I just want to win. It doesn't happen that often. So I don't think it will happen ever again.
But do you think, is he going to sign? No, it's going to be difficult because I'm like Andy Reid's not going to stay for Patrick Mahomes' entire career. Like if you just look at these younger, Freddie Kitchens isn't going to be there for Baker Mayfield's entire career. And who knows if they're going to play 20 years in the NFL.
And I think that'll be more likely, that guys will play the 20 years just based upon Brady and Breeze and Phillip Rivers and every other athlete, Vince Carter, Roethlisberger. But I just think that it's too much of an ask for the coach to be put in that position. I mean, look at the AFC East. They have to cycle through every 3 years head coaches and quarterbacks because they can't knock off the Patriots, and that's what retards the progress in the division, less so than the teams than the Patriots hitting at the right time. It's those teams can't make it to the playoffs, so they throw up their hands too early.
Do you think Brady cares about these lists where it feels like he gets denigrated whenever there's a list out, like who would you start your team with, or you had one quarterback for your one season, who would you have? And, Brady sort of gets kicked to the curb a little bit. But I'm wondering if the great competitor, chip on his shoulder, that this bothers him still, or it motivates him.
I think it does, and I think that's why he covets rings, and I think that's why the 2017 swing and a miss in the Super Bowl really pisses him off. He should be at 7. And I mean, I know people could say Tuck rule and this, different plays, but you can also say Asante Samuel in 2007.
Ooh.
Or Mario Manningham in 2011, or Wes Welker, and the guy would have friggin' 9. He'd have 9. So I think that he takes solace in being able to say, "Look, I'm 6-3 in Super Bowls, and
he can go scoreboard.
All 3 of them, I did my part."
Yeah, I would love to know how he would talk just to his buddies when he sees a list where it's like, Aaron Rodgers is the guy you want, or you want Patrick Mahomes or whatever it might be, and then here's Brady where it feels like everybody's trying to shove him out the door. And it just, he's just building another bedroom to come back in. He
has a massive belief in his own ability to the point where I don't think he would denigrate the other guys as much as he would say, "What are we talking about?"
It would be great just to hear him say, like, just have him look at the list in real time where you say, "Hey, this was put out by Pro Football Focus," or whatever, is putting out the list. They got you down there like
Chris Sims list. We'll put the Chris Sims list out there.
And what would Brady say, do you think, privately, if you handed him that list and said, you see where Chris Sims has you ranked?
We got you behind Andy Dalton here. It'd be amazing.
Wow.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.